So today we're talking about probably one of the most popular vlogging cameras that's out there right now, which is actually this little camera right here, the Canon M50. And I've had the Canon M50 for much over a year now, probably. It has become my secondary camera for shooting these videos, but a lot of times when I'm out and about shooting, this is actually the camera that I bring with me the majority of the time because of the fact that it's so small and light and convenient and really does just about everything that I need it to do. So today we're going to talk about five accessories that I think you guys should have for your M50 to just take it up a notch and make it that perfect video or just vlogging camera. And that's coming up right now. All right, my friends, so one of the first things that I think is kind of an important thing, and I've gone through a bunch of different versions of these, but that's actually a camera cage. And it may seem like something that not all of us really need, and we don't always need. And it's kind of one of these accessories that may be the last on your list, depending. And you'll see here on mine, I have the small rig cage, and the small rig cage comes for different cameras, so you get it to fit the camera that you're having. The bonus of it, of course, is that it actually gets, number one, the grip out just a little bit further, which I kind of like. Secondly, and the big reason that you have a cage, is that it has all these mounting holes. All these different mounting points can be really useful, especially when you and I are trying to mount more than one thing to our camera, which you and I probably are gonna do. So you'll see them again on the side, on the top, this side, and a couple here on the bottom. I actually have my mounting plate attached on it right here. But everything is still accessible. The screen comes open, no problems, nothing hits the cage. You can put a strap on it if you so choose. It's just really a nice added accessory, I find, for this. Previous to me owning one, I probably would have been like, it's nice. But I actually bought one for my Canon RP and love it. So I ended up buying one for the M50. I do recommend them. I see why people use them. It's kind of nice. So that's number one. Number two, and probably one of the biggest and most important accessories that you're gonna have for your vlogging camera, or especially for the video side of it. And this is not a photo thing, but an external microphone. This is an external microphone. I have one here by Comica. You can get all kinds of different external mics. Some of them will be battery powered, so they have to supply their own power. Now those microphones usually are gonna be a little better because they supply their own power. Usually they are more of a what's called a super cardioid, and it has a much nicer pattern for things like vocal, as well as really trying to reject things off to the side, and that can be really important. But I actually primarily use something like this, and this is a Comica V30 Lite, and it doesn't take any batteries. Bonus of it is that I don't forget to turn it on, as well as I don't forget to turn it off when I'm finished, so I never come back and have dead batteries or come back and realize I didn't shoot any audio. But really, really important, these just go into the shoe right here, tighten her up, and now you have some good audio. Now the bonus, again, going back to my cage, is you'll see this cage over here has a little slot. You guys see that little slot right there? And that is a cold shoe slot as well. If you have two items that you want to hook in here, for instance, you have this microphone, which again, you should have a microphone if you're shooting video. Now we got this off to the side a bit. Now we can put something else in here. Maybe you have a set of lights that you want to hook in here, which again, now brings me to item number, did I do that right? Three, item number three. Right there, that's weird. I'm having problems holding my hand up like that. Which is lighting. So this is a light here by Moman, and there's lots of them. This is an LED light. The bonus of this, of course, is that an M50, one of the issues, is that it's not great as the light gets down. It's not great in low light. And there are gonna be certain scenarios that you and I are in that we do require some extra light. Number one is light on us. Again, this Moman light here, this guy, actually comes with this, which is super convenient, which means I can just snag that in there And this places on that cold shoe. And we can put this in any kind of orientation. So it can go this way, or because we have a little bit more limited space here, we could turn it on its axis here. And now we've got some light. This is gonna give us a nice tall light. We can have this facing back at us. It is multi-temperature, so we can go all the way from blue to yellow. And it's what's called an RGB LED light. That's huge. And again, all hooked into this cage, which can be a really big part of being able to attach multiple accessories. And I could add more if I had this attached to, let's say, a tripod. So I wanted to really load this up. So super nice and still nice and light, which is fantastic. So that was 3. So we've got cage, we've got mics, and we've got lights. So that's awesome. Number 4, the Canon M50 comes with actually a surprisingly nice little lens, the 15-45 if you bought the M50 as a kit. And I think this little lens actually quite nice. It is fairly vlog friendly, as you can, if you have long enough arms, get your arms out long enough or far enough so that you can get yourself in the shot. But this brings me to part number 4, and I'm just gonna lay this down right here, is lenses. Now, depending on the lenses that you want to get and how much you want to invest will depend on the route that you take for this next part. This is a huge combination that a lot of us will use for the M50. And that 15-45 lens, because it's on a crop sensor, is not a 15 anymore. So that 15 mil wide really equates to a 24 millimeter because of that 1.6 times crop. So not crazy wide. This lens is probably one of the biggest choices for a lot of M50 shooters because of its width. And this is the Canon EFS 10-18 millimeter. So it is an EFS lens, not an EF lens, and also not an M lens. To go along with this lens, and I do think that you and I should look into this lens, but we need this adapter. So this here is a Comlight, and it is an adapter that adapts EFS or EF lenses to the M series. And this allows this 10 to become a 16. So it actually is nice and wide. Just realize that it's not a fast lens. It is a 4.5 to 5.6. So not a fast lens. It does need a fair bit of light, but if you are using this outdoors, vlogging especially, this is a fantastic lens. You can get this by itself, or you can get it as a kit that usually comes with the 50 mil 1.8 EF lens. Great combination, highly recommended. Both are STM lenses, so they're fairly quiet as well as nice and fast, so they focus really quick. So really a nice combination to go with the M50 and the adapter. So that's kind of a dual part, but we're still on number 4, If you want to take it one step further, which is what I did, and a lot of us may not stick or stay with the M50 forever. We will progress to another camera. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that my investment in lenses could move to other cameras down the road. For instance, I actually shoot now with a Canon RP, so it's a full frame mirrorless. Because of that, this lens won't fit, the EFS lenses won't fit on it, but the Canon RF lenses, which are for this camera, fit perfectly, and the EF lenses fit on it. Even with the M50, you may want to be focusing on EF lenses. Now, if you are focusing on EF lenses, I'm gonna bring out just a cheap one here. This is a cheap one. This is an actual 28-135, and actually I've been really happy with this lens. I'm gonna move this over a bit. Quite sharp, especially at its price point. You can get these lenses online for like a couple $100. 28-135, super nice. Now, what you will notice on here is I have this, and it's a Viltrox speed booster. It's a speed booster, which is fantastic, and it goes between the lens and the camera body. So this will fit on to the M50, as well as a lot of the other Canon M series mirrorless. So what this does is it actually allows it to mount just like the Comlink adapter did, but it actually does 2 things. One is it improves the speed of this lens. So this lens here, for instance, is a 3.5 to 5.6 IS lens, 3.5. But with a speed booster, it'll go down to a 2.8, maybe even lower. And that 5.6 will come into a 4 or 4.5. So I'm getting extra light into this lens, which makes this lens way nicer, way faster, which is awesome. The other thing that it does is it helps get rid of that crop. So that 1.6 crop that is native to anything with an APS-C sensor on the Canon line, this actually takes that away. And you end up only getting about a 1.1 crop. So this 28 will come out to about a 30, but that's way better. I have a 16 to 35 lens, that is actually like an 18. So you get the ability to use your EF lenses on your M series camera, M50 here, almost at the actual width that they were designed to be used at, especially on a full frame. Plus you get the advantages of your lenses now being much faster. So it's a huge win, and I highly recommend this adapter for the M50 if you are planning on investing on lenses. And if you are planning on investing on lenses right now and are very unsure of where you want to go, invest in EF lenses, because it may be a nice way to move between different camera bodies now until you get actually invested in one. I'll use Canon right now. Canon RF line is probably where Canon is going to end up going permanently, is my guess. But I still right now buy EF lenses because I know that they will work on any camera that in the Canon line that I buy, be it one of their SLRs, be it one of their M series, be it one of their full frame RF series. Will my lenses work? Yeah. If I buy an RF, will it work on the M series? No. Will it work on a DSLR? No. Only their R line. If I buy an EFS lens, it'll only work on this one with the adapter. And of course, their crop series SLR. So the EF right now really is kind of that works on everything inside Canon, which is why these adapters I think play such a huge role. So that's a big number 4. There's kind of a whole bunch of stuff in there, but I do think super important. How do you hold your camera? Well, I got a couple options. Probably some of the cheapest ones, of course, are things like this. This is a standard little tripod, bendy legs. You can search for these on Amazon. You'll get these for about 20, 30 bucks. Super simple. Do they do the job? Yeah, but as you get this camera kitted up more, it becomes a little heavier, and a tripod like this starts to have a little bit more issue holding heavier weights. Is it good? Sure. Can it be a bit of an issue as the camera gets heavier? Most definitely. So if that's the case, we end up going to one of the actual Gorilla Pods. So this is by Joby, and this one of course here, a lot heavier duty, but again, a lot more expensive. So just kind of be aware of that. You are going to be increasing your price as you go to one of these. Bonus is, of course, that you can bend this and get it however you want, get it out there, hold the camera on there. It's got a little ball head. Perfect. It's awesome. But if you are table mounting this, again, as the camera gets a bit heavier, the legs have a tendency to want to slip and slide and move around. So because of that, if you are going to be table mounting this, I don't know if I recommend this as much. This is great when you're out and about and you need something to mount this to, so you need to mount it to a fence or you're putting it on uneven ground. This is great. But this is where little tiny tripods become really useful. Can I use this for vlogging? 100%. I can get this out there. You know, get that out there if you really want to. Tighten it and just hold it with one leg. You don't have to hold it with all of them. You can hold it with one. This is by a company called Sire, and this is their AM223-EU model. And the bonus here is these legs pop out even a little bit. So if you want to get that leg out a little bit more, you can extend that. Now you're holding the camera even further out. And because it does have a ball head, you can spin that up or down to get that however you want it, position-wise. And when this is on the actual table, it's not moving anywhere. Those legs are stuck. They can't go any wider than this unless we hit these little buttons. We pop those, now they extend even further. I love this little tripod, and this little tripod actually travels with me whenever we go on holidays because carbon fiber, it's not crazy light for its size, but it's built really well. So it's built like a tank, and I love it. It's just a fantastic little tripod, and I like the blue accents. Is that weird? Whatever. And again, this tripods, any of these, really are gonna move around between your cameras. So good investments to have at the beginning, because once you buy good tripods, as you change cameras down the road, this tripod will stick with you. All right, next. Last one for the Canon M50. And I think, again, this is huge, and I use this a lot, and it is an actual piece of software. So one of the things that you can't get with the M50 is a log profile. And this is really important for those of us that are doing any kind of color grading. So we want a really flat color profile so that we can regain some of that dynamic range and have more flexibility as we're color grading. That's really important. So you can go into your settings and actually set it to neutral, play around like that. But Technicolor, this is huge. Technicolor actually allows us to download what's called their Cine Style profile. And a lot of people don't know about this, and I think it's a really huge piece of the puzzle for this camera. It allows us to get a almost log style profile into our camera, which allows much better color grading. I will put a link down below for you guys if you want to go to that Cine Style, but honestly all you have to do is search for Cine Style. It'll be the first one that comes up. It's on the Technicolor website. You guys can see it here. I have it on my page. Technicolor Cine Style. Basically all you do is you download this Cine Style. It'll have all the instructions on here. Once you download it, right, can it be used with all EOS cameras? Yes, no, right? What are the requirements? How do I load it? All there. Basically, you're gonna take this profile, you're gonna put it on an SD card, you're gonna go into your camera settings, and it allows you to install or import a color profile. You're gonna set that to one of your customs, and you use that. I use it for everything. And because it's set up as one of your color profiles, it's easy to switch it out of it and be like, I don't want that. I'm gonna switch it back to neutral or switch it back to vivid or whatever. And then when I'm editing and I know that I want a color grade, then I can actually switch it to that Cine Style and we're good to go. There you go. I hope this is some useful information on the M50, because I do know even right now in 2020, the M50 is a huge go-to camera for a lot of us that are shooting video. It is a great camera, without question. Some limitations, but for those of us especially shooting YouTube or using the M50 as a B cam, wonderful. It's a wonderful camera. We just need to kit it up a little bit. All right guys, I'm gonna leave you there. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as per the usual, we'll see you in the next video. I'll put links down below to some of the stuff we talked about today. Later guys. Enjoy your M50.